There is a $14 product on a pharmacy shelf right now that had to prove to the federal government that it worked before it could legally be sold. Almost every other product in this video only had to prove it was safe. These are 10 skincare products that should cost far more than they do. First, I am not a doctor, and nothing here replaces one. If you are pregnant, nursing on prescription medication, or managing a diagnosed skin condition, talk to yours before changing anything. Formulations and prices move, so check the label in your hand. Here's the thesis. Plant it early so you can test me against it. The biggest bargains in skincare are not this year's launches. They are the products companies quietly stopped marketing years ago. The formula does not change, only the attention changes. And when attention leaves, the price stops climbing. One piece of evidence before we start because it cuts both ways. In January of 2007, Consumer Reports ran its first test of wrinkle creams. 9 products from $38 up to $335. The drugstore option won by a small margin. The $335 La Prairie was among the least effective. No correlation between price and performance. That is the part everyone quotes. Here's the part nobody does. Even the best performers reduced average wrinkle depth by less than 10%, which Consumer Reports called barely visible to the naked eye. So the honest read is not that cheap skincare is magic. It is that expensive skincare is not buying what the price implies. Stop paying for the story. Start paying for the chemistry. That is the bar. Everything here has to clear. Number 10. The Ordinary Glycolic Acid 7% Exfoliating Toner, around $13. The bottle looks like high school chemistry equipment, and the name quietly changed from toning solution to exfoliating toner, which tells you how much marketing energy it has ever received. Inside is glycolic acid at a pH of approximately 3.6. That number matters more than the percentage, because an acid at the wrong pH is just expensive water. After 50, cell turnover slows and dead surface cells linger in a way they did not at 30. That is the dullness no moisturizer fixes, because moisturizer is the wrong tool. Exfoliation is the right one. The honest caveat is a real one. The Ordinary's own directions say do not use on sensitive, peeling, or compromised skin. It carries a sunburn alert telling you to use sunscreen and limit sun exposure during use and for a week after. And the brand lists things not to pair it with, including retinoids and direct vitamin C. Hold that thought. 3 retinoids and 1 vitamin C are still coming. Number 9. Aquaphor Healing Ointment, around $14. Petrolatum at 41%, then mineral oil, sericin, lanolin alcohol, panthenol, glycerin, and bisabolol. 7 ingredients total. Petrolatum is the most effective occlusive known. It slows water evaporating out of your skin better than anything available. Glycerin pulls water toward the skin. Panthenol supports healing. Elegant formulation hiding in a boring tube. And this is not a cosmetic. Aquaphor is registered as an over-the-counter skin protectant. Remember that. Now the caveat, and it corrects something repeated constantly. You will hear that dermatologists send patients home with this after procedures. Many do. But a Journal of Drugs and Dermatology study compared Aquaphor against plain white petrolatum on Mohs surgery wounds and found Aquaphor produced significantly more redness and swelling. 52% showed redness, 33% showed both. The suspected culprit is the lanolin, superb for dry, cracked, weathered skin. For a fresh surgical wound, plain petrolatum may be simpler. And if you react to lanolin, this is not your product. Number 8. Vanicream Daily Facial Moisturizer, around $14. Water, squalane, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, and 5 ceramides. No botanical extracts, no essential oils, which sounds minor until you know that botanicals and essential oils are among the most common causes of reaction in mature skin. No fragrance, no dye, no lanolin, no parabens. The Mayo Clinic connection is real, and it is not the one usually told. The brand came out of Rochester, Minnesota, where the Mayo Clinic is, and the allergen standard this product is certified against is built on Mayo research into the most common contact allergens. That is a better claim than a gift shop stocking it. The caveat: this is maintenance, not treatment. No retinoid, no acid, nothing that changes your skin structure. If things that never stung now sting, this is your restart point. It is not what smooths the line. Number 7. Gold Bond Age Renew Retinol Overnight Body and Face Lotion, around $12 to $15. Nobody picks this up thinking anti-aging. They pick it up because Gold Bond means lotion, which means dry hands. It genuinely contains retinol, plus niacinamide, palmitoyl hexapeptide 12, ceramide, NG, shea and cocoa butter, fragrance-free, dye-free, hypoallergenic, aimed at the neck, chest, arms, and legs, areas that age fast and get treated almost never. Now I have to be a stickler because this claim gets repeated as fact. Gold Bond says retinol is the most clinically tested anti-aging ingredient, and their own asterisk defines that as based on the number of clinical tests. That is a count of studies, not a measure of results. Tretinoin still holds the deepest evidence. Their 93% and 84% smoothness figures are brand-funded testing, and you should weigh them accordingly. And read the ingredient order. Retinol sits well down the list after tocopherol. This is low-strength retinol in a very good moisturizing base. Judge it as that and you will be pleased. Number 6. The Ordinary Granactive Retinoid 2% Emulsion, around $12. Here the label itself is the story. Granactive Retinoid is a trade name, and the raw material is supplied as 10% active hydroxypinocolone retinoate in 90% solvent. So 2% Granactive Retinoid means 0.2% actual retinoid and 1.8% solvent, 2% on the front, 0.2 in the bottle. Neither number is a lie. Only one is the retinoid. I am not saying that to put you off. Hydroxypinocolone retinoate is genuinely gentler than retinol for most people, and $12 is a real bargain. I am saying it because once you see how that number is built, you will never again be impressed by a percentage without asking what it is a percentage of. That skill is worth more than the $12. Caveats: refrigerate after opening and use within 3 months, and the manufacturer's claim that it beats retinol several times over is a supplier claim, not independent evidence. Number 5. AmLactin 12% Lactic Acid Lotion, around $15. Beige packaging, parked next to the foot creams, apparently designed to be ignored. What is in it is ammonium lactate at 12%, and that is a prescription drug ingredient under the name Lockhydrin. It is indicated for dry, scaly skin and ichthyosis vulgaris. Same molecule, same strength, over the counter. That is not a dupe. One version required a doctor. It loosens the bonds between dead surface cells and draws water into the skin rather than coating it. For crepey texture on arms and legs, that is a mechanism no conventional lotion offers. Now the caveat, and this one is safety, so please hear it. The prescribing information advises caution on the face because of irritation potential, says sun exposure to treated areas should be minimized or avoided, and reports transient stinging in about 1 in 30 patients. You will see this recommended casually for the neck and face. The label does not support that. Body first, patch test, sunscreen over it. Number 4. The Ordinary Niacinamide, 10% plus zinc, 1%, around $6. Luxury brands did not invent niacinamide. They convinced women they had and charged $40 to $80 for it. Niacinamide genuinely supports the barrier and helps texture and radiance, and the evidence keeps improving. But this specific bottle is misrepresented constantly, including in videos aimed at women our age. The Ordinary's own current name for it is the Niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1% oil control serum. They position it for excess oil and the appearance of pores, and the clinical testing they cite is pore appearance at 4 weeks. It is sold as a smoothing serum for blemish-prone skin. It is an OIL control product. Most skin over 50 is not making too much oil, it is making too little. $6 for well-formulated niacinamide is still excellent value, but if someone tells you it will fade your dark spots, that is not what the manufacturer claims, and 10% is high enough that reactive skin may not tolerate it. Number 3. The Ordinary Vitamin C Suspension 23%, around $7. Every expensive vitamin C serum fights the same enemy. Vitamin C in water degrades. That bottle in your bathroom, the color of weak iced tea, has oxidized, and it stopped working before you finished it. The famous solution is a patented formula using vitamin E and ferulic acid to hold ascorbic acid stable. It retails at $182. The Ordinary solved the same problem differently. They removed the water. This is a water-free suspension, and the 23% L-ascorbic acid stays stable because there is nothing for it to degrade in. $7. The caveat is substantial, and I will not soften it. There is no vitamin E and no ferulic acid, so it cannot claim the synergy the expensive serum is built on, and it is unpleasant. The brand itself describes the granular texture as vitamin C powder suspended in an oil-like base. Users report grittiness, a strong tingle, and pilling under makeup. The brand says it can be diluted in a cream to build tolerance, and that it may be too much for very sensitive skin. You tolerate this one for the chemistry. At $7, you can afford to find out whether you can. Number 2. CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. The large tub, around $15, depending on size and store. Ceramides make up roughly half the lipids in your skin barrier, and after menopause, you make fewer of them. That is the mechanism behind your face feeling tight at bedtime in a way it never used to. 3 essential ceramides, 1, 3, and 6, 2, plus hyaluronic acid, delivered through a patented multivesicular emulsion that releases them gradually. Fragrance-free, oil-free, non-comedogenic, accepted by the National Eczema Association, and it costs $15 for a tub this size, rather than $80 for a jar the size of a shot glass, for the same reason Aquaphor costs $14. The ingredients are not rare. They are correctly formulated and correctly delivered, and nobody is charging you for a glass jar and a French name. The caveat: ceramides replace what is missing. They do not remodel anything. This is your foundation, not your treatment layer, and the price does drift above $15 depending on tub and store, so check. And now the last one. Number 1. Differin Gel, 0.1% Adapalene, around $14. Under United States law, a cosmetic must be safe. It does not have to work. A brand can print retinol on a label, charge $90, and never demonstrate to any regulator that it does what the packaging implies. Differin is not a cosmetic. Adapalene is a third-generation synthetic retinoid, approved as a prescription drug in 1996, and in July of 2016, the FDA approved it for over-the-counter sale, the first new active ingredient in the over-the-counter acne category in more than 3 decades. Now I am going to be more careful than most videos are. Read the approval letter, and it says plainly that the over-the-counter approval covers the treatment of acne in adults and children 12 and older, acne, not aging. Using Adapalene for wrinkles is off-label, and the FDA reviewed no wrinkle data when it approved this. The anti-aging evidence is real, but separate. A randomized controlled trial published in 2025 followed women with moderate skin aging for 6 months. 58 completed. Skin aging scores in the treated group fell from 38.2 to 32.5, while the control group barely moved, and pigmentation and wrinkles both improved significantly. One precision point nobody mentions: that trial used Adapalene cream. What you buy at Target is a gel, and the gel runs drying on mature skin. So the honest version of number 1, which I think is stronger than the hyped one, a prescription-strength retinoid at $14 with a real regulatory pedigree and a growing independent evidence base for aging that its own manufacturer is not permitted to advertise. Retinoid still has the deeper file for photo aging. Apply a plain fragrance-free moisturizer straight after. Expect something at 4 months, more at 6. And if you are pregnant, planning to be, or breastfeeding, the FDA specifically advises speaking to your doctor first, because adequate controlled studies in pregnancy have not been done. 2 things before you go. The first is a pattern I did not expect. I opened by telling you Differin was the one product here that answered to a regulator. That was the setup, and it is not quite true. Aquaphor is a registered over-the-counter skin protectant. AmLactin's active is a prescription drug ingredient. 3 of these 10 are not cosmetics at all. So the real pattern is not one heroic drug on a shelf of pretenders. It is that every product here which had to satisfy someone other than a marketing department is a cheap one. Regulation did not make them expensive, it made them honest. The second is a warning. 4 of these 10 come from The Ordinary, and The Ordinary is owned by Estee Lauder, one of the largest prestige beauty companies in the world. The brand that broke skincare pricing now belongs to the industry it broke, and the prices have not moved yet. You deserve to know who you are buying from, and if those prices ever do move, you will know why. More urgently, those products fight each other. The Glycolic toner should not share a routine with retinoids or direct vitamin C. The Granactive retinoid must not be combined with any other retinoid, which rules out pairing it with Differin or the Gold Bond retinol on the same night. And The Ordinary recommends keeping niacinamide and vitamin C in separate routines. So do not build a routine out of this list. Pick your exfoliant or your retinoid, not both in one night. Vitamin C one end of the day, niacinamide the other. Keep Vanicream, CeraVe, and Aquaphor as your foundation because those 3 play nicely with everything. Add 1 active at a time and give it 4 weeks. 10 products, none over $15, 3 of them answerable to a federal regulator. The reason you have not heard of most of them is not that they stopped working. It is that they stopped being advertised, and those are completely different things. Tell me in the comments which of these you already use and which one surprised you most. And if this is the kind of thing you want more of, go ahead and subscribe.